All righty. What is up? What is up? Beautiful 14 hours a day of football that we got today with the Jets and the Vikings on right now. Danny is pointing out his brand new Nico Collins jersey behind him because, the Glaze had to lead to some financial support for his new favorite player in the
Skin in the
NFL.
game, baby. I mean, it's funny. If you guys actually have been following the channel for a while, he was on last year's sleeper video. Obviously, the whole 9 yards when it comes to my affinity for Nico Collins this offseason. Over 20% on Underdog. Obviously, the content over on the Flock League. Had to, make a full commitment, full investment into the bit. So every time I'm going to be recording clips over that channel, I mean, having the Nico Collins almost felt necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, as usual, if you guys are wondering why you are unable to super chat, we have turned super chats off going forward. If you do want to skip the line and get your questions answered, the link is pinned in the chat right now. Ask a question or get your team reviewed. Head on over to Flock Fantasy. Use code FSE when you make a purchase there. You can ask a start sit question, a trade question. You can also get your team reviewed, and you also do get a free team review if you sign up annually as a site subscriber there. Again, it's a little bit challenging bouncing back and forth between the super chats and the Flock questions. Plus, YouTube takes a nice haircut out of the super chats, which is why we think it's better for you guys to support us directly. We get a majority share of these super chats via the site, and then the rest of it goes to improving the site because it goes to the devs. So love to see that. But let's get into the first question here we got from Derby. Looks like he has a lineup question, start sit decision here. Redraft 12 team, 1 quarterback, start 8. Looks like he's considering a number of these different running backs. I mean, Bucky Irving, I guess, already played. So Raheem Mostert or Roschon Johnson, I guess, is what we're looking at between the running backs here.
Yeah, I'm leaning Roschon here for sure against Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little worried about Raheem's workload coming off of the injury, and I don't love the game environment. 35.5 point over under.
17.5 implied.
I mean, he didn't look good in that first game. He's kind of banged up still. I would say Roschon's probably the play here because at least he looks good on his touches, and it's an easy matchup against Carolina.
For sure. So we'll put Roschon in. It looks like the only option at quarterback is A-Rich. Now, should I? Oh, he asked. Doesn't know if I should hold on to or drop and get ARs. Well, first of all, you have no choice because Anthony Richardson is not playing in this game.
Who are you dropping here?
Who am I dropping of that list?
You could drop Richardson, I suppose, but you could just drop, Jennings or Mostert, I guess.
Who is the drop for you? Would you drop
probably
Richardson?
Jennings, knowing that everybody's healthy on the 49ers offense now?
Yeah, I think I would drop Jennings too.
You're going to drop him over A-Rich, though? You could just drop Richardson.
That's the dilemma I'm in. I would say it depends on your league dynamic because a lot of leagues, like I know some leagues where if you drop a quarterback, like the streaming options on a week-to-week basis, you're looking at like quarterback 19, 20 in my rankings. Some leagues, it's like, oh, you can get like quarterback 14 of my rankings because people are only holding one quarterback. Like it really depends because I know a lot of leagues, like people will just hoard 2 quarterbacks no matter what. Yeah, so if that's the case, I can't drop
Cousins, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Stafford. That's like what's available on my waiver wire in my home league right now. If you're in a league market like that, I would say it makes sense to just drop Richardson and pick up a different quarterback because you can go and get Richardson again. But if you did have to drop somebody else, I would drop Juwan Jennings in that situation there. So was that it?
In terms of the flex? I'm behind you, so like.
Well, that's why I'm asking you because I missed it. So pay attention to it because I want to know.
Yeah, it was number 5. Yep,
perfect. Okay, so
hopefully Breece Hall scores a touchdown.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Getting the Garrett points.
Yeah, Wandale's the easy flex option here for me. Very clearly, the best option.
Yeah, over those options, absolutely. Yeah.
And
then just looking at the rest real quick.
You got to. I'm just gonna put Richardson in there so the question gets answered. But hopefully you're able to pick up like Watson or Flacco or Lawrence or somebody like that. Even off the waiver wire, you should have some options there.
For sure. By the way, shout out. I just mentioned this to Corey earlier, but if you guys watched the video on Friday where I kind of went through like the under the radar starts, if you guys are in a pinch, maybe decimated by injuries and bye weeks. I mean, if you plug Tyler Conklin in at your tight end spot, like he's quietly having a pretty solid week. And I mean, in terms of just the tight end position too, I'm sure you're not upset if you plugged K. Dot into your lineup either, because 3 catches, 44 yards is probably going to end up being like a top 8 week at tight end.
Yeah, that's how the tight end position's going right now. So appreciate the question there, Derby. Let's get into the next question here from Jay Moose. He does have some wide receiver, tight end, and running back and flex decisions here. So wide receiver, I mean, Rashee Rice out. You're probably, I mean, hopefully you started Wilson already because he's actually having a decent day, but Wilson would have been my highest ranked wide receiver here.
Same.
With most likely Ayuk in the flex, I would imagine.
Ayuk would have been my highest rank, but Wilson, look at the options. Go up to Wilson, the receiver.
Here, we'll decide the flex after. So
yeah,
Wilson,
he would have been my number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, because it's a 9:30 game and Ayuk is likely going to be in the flex, I would say it's probably you want Wilson occupying the wide receiver spot. This is a crazy decision point that you have between these two tight ends. I have Kittle higher than Bowers this week.
He also says he's trading Dowdle and Kittle for Mixon should go through on Saturday. And that's
okay. So yeah, then you're just putting Bowers in there, and that's a pretty solid trade. I think you get a nice RB lockdown depending on your I mean, you have Gibbs obviously on bye, and you still have Brooks coming back. Brown. I guess Chase Brown's going to be your only option then if you're trading away Rico Dowdle there. But that's definitely a great trade, I think, for you. And then the flex is pretty easily Brandon Ayuk, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I fully would agree. I will say, like, I mean, Ayuk's just a full tier above. But for me, I feel like I say this every week, but Roma Dunze is running 90+% of the routes. And sooner rather than later, the Bears passing offense will figure it out. And maybe it's just me having so much Roma Dunze, but this feels like the sweet spot against Carolina this week for the Bears offense.
Yeah, and if I have to see one more Allen Lazard red zone target, I'm going to lose my mind, by the way. He's scoring on them, which is annoying.
He scored?
No, he didn't score this one, but he almost did.
Oh.
It was actually a perfect throw, and if Lazard was a better receiver, that's a touchdown.
If he was a good player, maybe he would have scored.
Yeah, but anyways, appreciate the question there, Jay Moose. Again, if you guys want to ask a question, it is linked at the top of the pinned chat there. We'll go through like member questions and stuff, and we'll try and get through as many free questions as we can as well. But we got to answer these ones first. So Snubs is up here. Flex decisions by the looks of it. He's got Christian Kirk, Tyrone Tracy, Madison, and Jalen Waddle as his main options. Kirk would actually be my
Tracy
number
and Kirk for me. It'd be Tracy and Kirk for me very easily.
Really, Tracy and Madison are quite close in my rankings. So I do have Tracy one spot higher or 2 spots higher, I believe. I think I have Tracy at 20, and I have
so you have Madison. No Zamir, I think that's fair. I have Zamir, or I have Madison lower than you do, but I don't know. I just don't trust it.
I mean, it's a bad matchup against the Broncos, but I think workhorse volume is workhorse volume. And I'm pretty sure that Madison's getting 85% of the touches in this game. Like he's going to probably be a workhorse. And I can't quite say the same for Tracy, although I think Tracy's a better player and more explosive and can catch passes.
Yeah, like I think Eric Gray is definitely going to get worked into this game. And I mean, the reason why I would go Tracy as well, because we've pointed out, I mean, shout out Christian, I seen he was in here, but we're talking about how the dynamic is for the Seahawks defense. And I'm just a little bit concerned for this overall Giants passing offense going into that game. Obviously, Seahawks are a run funnel defense, and without Malik Neighbors, I'm really concerned about how they're going to move the ball in the passing game. I would make the argument in terms of the explosive plays added to the offense that Tyrone Tracy may have to be their explosive play guy if they want to win this game.
Yeah, well, and at the very least, too, if they're having a hard time moving the offense and they're getting blown out, like Tracy could catch 6 or 7 passes. Like if anybody has Jerome Ford in this chat right now, you'll know exactly what a PPR scam running back looks like when a team is losing, because Jerome Ford like seemingly catches like 6 passes a game for like 30 yards because the Browns are always getting wiped. So appreciate the question there, Snubs. I think we got a pretty easy decision for you there.
But, KV, for the record, I have to say one thing because his name's actually on this, is funny enough, but the amount of overreactions I'm seeing in the chat right now with Brees, guys, the Jets offensive line right now is creating no push up front. Are we watching the same game? Like, sorry, I have to get this out there, but like, holy crap, every single fucking run, whether it's Braylon or Brees in the backfield right now, they're getting hit in the back.
Yeah. Also worth noting that Underdog NFL just tweeted out an update that Aaron Rodgers is heading to the medical tent again to check his leg. I don't know exactly what he did, but that is just, I mean, it looks like it might've just been like not a thigh injury, but like something like that. Like it doesn't look like his knee. He grabbed like his hamstring or something.
Grabbed his hamstring.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way he kind of got like bent up on and then it straightened out on him. Yeah, literally, Jared.
I agree. Like, dude, the other thing about this matchup, too, is like the Vikings are literally the best run defense in the NFL right now through 4 games. They're the best run defense in the NFL. So,
and the Jets run blocking line is not the best.
I tweeted it out. I'm like, this is the softest offensive line I've seen. Like, they're either not tough enough to like make push, or they're stupid. and they don't understand the play calls and stuff. Like, that's what it looks like. It looks like they're lost. Nobody is on the same page, or they're just like not creating a push because they're not like, they don't want it enough. Like, when you see a really good offensive line in the run blocking game and they just look like it's force of will from these offensive linemen. It doesn't look like that for the Jets offensive line. It looks like they're all thinking while they're trying to, all that you just hat on a hat, just knock them on the ground. Like, it's not that hard to run block. Like, maybe the scheme is really confusing. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's the other thing too. London games are always weird. I said that on Thursday. They're always weird. Everything goes, it's sloppy football. There's turnovers. Like, I remember when the Bucs played in London against the Panthers the one year, Jameis had like 5 picks or something like that. Like, every London game is weird in my experience.
Yeah, for sure. So okay,
KV's got his question here. He says 0-4, thinking of shaking it up this week. Could do something involving Jacobs instead. So he would receive Breece Hall, Dontavian Wicks in exchange for Devon Achane, Chris Olave. I think the difference between Achane and Hall is smaller than the difference between Olave and Wicks, personally.
I agree right now. If you ask me in 2 weeks, though, and Dontavian Wicks ends up being the wide receiver 2 on Green Bay, I wouldn't be shocked if 2 weeks from now we're like, oh my God, we should have taken this deal. Again, I agree. It's a lot of Achane side right now, but
Tua coming back, and Achane's going to be a stud once that happens.
Fair. It's just, this is a fun question because it really depends on how high you are on Wicks. Because if you think Wicks is going to take that type of ascendance, like, I think this is a really fine package. However, knowing the certainty of Olave and knowing, I mean, we do also have the hindsight right now that Breece is not having the greatest Week 5 game, whereas Devon Achane hasn't played. I don't know. Again, it's a very close deal. You are 0-4, shaking it up this week. I just can't do this. I mean, I guess at 0-4 too, the other part of it is that Devon Achane is on his bye. Yeah, that would be the issue. Also, you're all like you've already guaranteed loss this week.
Well, he doesn't know that for sure. He asked this question before the game.
This week 5. I'm an idiot. Yeah. This week 5.
Yeah. Also, by the way, if you guys do ask us questions ahead of time, like on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, we're just going to assume you want them answered on the stream. But if you do want an answer from us, like right away on the site, we can just make sure to say that in the comment box. Like, I need an answer ASAP. I can't wait until the stream, kind of thing. Just as an FYI. But KV, appreciate the question there. We would hold the Olave and Achane side at this point in time. Okay. Anthony says, starts a question. I'm guessing we just look around at his lineup. He doesn't. I have Downs and Leggett on my bench as wide receivers. So are you putting Downs and Leggett in over any of these options? So Cooper and McLaurin, I think you're definitely holding there, not playing Downs over them. I guess it would be Zach Moss versus Josh Downs or Xavier Leggett.
Full PPR, I'm going Downs over Moss, I think.
You would?
In a full PPR with Flacco in? That's close. I mean, it's RB 20, RB 21 versus RB or wide receiver 28, I think is where I have Downs.
Yeah, Downs is definitely a great play this week with Flacco there. There's some kind of weather conditions. If anybody lives in like the Jacksonville area, let us know what the weather is actually like, or if you just know the news broadcast. What I've seen is like there's a storm coming, but it's not going to come like this afternoon. That's what I've seen.
I've seen the same.
So I don't know if we're looking at a bad situation weather-wise for the Colts Jaguars game. I think it's just going to be like scattered showers based on what I saw.
Yeah. I don't know. Would you go with Downs over? It's going to be Downs. As much as I like Leggett, you're not playing Leggett.
I would play Moss because I like the game environment of the Baltimore-Cincinnati game quite a bit.
That is like really a neck and neck decision. So, I mean, it makes sense why you submitted it. Full PPR. Safe play is Moss. If you need upside, though, definitely put Downs in. Is kind of how I view it.
No, it's definitely
depends on your projection, I would say.
Yep.
Because Downs could be like the wide receiver 9 on the slate this week with Flacco in the lineup. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. Why I would lean Downs, but again, the safe projection would be Moss because he still has a majority workload on Cincinnati, and like you said, high paced, high scoring game environment in a divisional game.
Yeah, for sure. Rolando, I've done a bunch of consults with you, but you know the rules around here, my man. You were in here early. We will answer your question as soon as we get to it. We should get to a bunch of free questions today, so just be patient. We'll get to you. Yeah. Jonathan.
Yeah, sorry, when we said please help right away, we were talking about like when we get questions on the site because some people submit on like Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. So what do we got here? We got Jonathan. He's got a wide receiver start sit decision. Again, Addison, I guess, is already playing currently. I would have played Zay Flowers anyway.
Yeah, Flowers.
And then we got running back here. Mixon's out. So you're pretty much Moss or Eckler, which is most likely Moss here. And then flex decision. Again, I would have played Wandale over Addison, but I know you and I disagree on that.
Yeah.
And he would have already made this decision most likely today. I would have stuck with Wandale over Addison, though, especially it is half PPR, though, actually. It takes a little bit of a hit
Give me
in
Leggett.
that type of format. You'd
Give
play
me
Leggett
Leggett
over both of those
a
guys?
half PPR? A half PPR?
I wouldn't. I don't want to mess with the Bears secondary. I would play, if in a half PPR, I'd probably go Addison. Full PPR, I'd go Wandale.
I mean, you can't really make the Addison choice now. That's kind of why.
Well, yeah, obviously. I would say
it would have been Addison for the record, but like
it would have been Addison in half PPR because Wandale takes a pretty sizable hit in that format versus full PPR because he's a total PPR scam. But yeah, that would be how we would set your lineup. Again, apologies if you didn't get these off in time. With 9:30 games, maybe we'll have to check these going forward before we do our stream and answer the ones that have 9:30 players in them direct on the site there. Appreciate the question there, Jonathan. Jay $sign here, $8. He's got Dontavian Wicks, I guess, is all he's considering. Need to start two wide receivers and a flex.
So, I mean, Wicks is go through all the options. So just put Wicks in, and then he needs to start two of the wide receivers in a flex. So
I'm assuming the decision is between Wicks and Dell is what he's asking.
Go up to the top. I want to see who he's already have at wide receiver. Yeah, that's how I would set it.
Well, I would play Wicks over Thomas even too.
Yeah, I would too, but I think Wicks is very easily the flex over Dell.
Yeah, and I guess maybe he's caught between this because he's already starting Reed, and that could be like, do you want to start both of those guys? But I feel very good about both of them. I think the offense will be extremely concentrated in the passing game. So if the decision point is Wicks versus Dell, I would 100% go with Wicks, even despite you starting Jaden Reed already. So appreciate the question. Let's move on to Blau here. Shout out to Blau, by the way. Quick plug. He did use his free team review. He signed up for an annual recently, and he got a free team review as a result. So if you guys are interested in that, the link is down below in the description. We do have, he said, who can I safely drop to pick up a kicker? Okay, we'll get to that question after, but let's set his lineup here first. Tracy is the running back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very, very. Hunt's not far off.
Hunt's a good play too, but I would rather play Tracy myself.
He might make the flex, to be fair. Let's see the flex. Oh, Wicks is the flex.
Oh, no, he's not making it over Wicks.
I mean, it's Wicks, but can you get Brian Thomas in? Who do you have in already?
Godwin and London already played, and Collins is his other flex, so no, he cannot.
What a fucking lineup. 12 teams start 8, and you got Brian Thomas, who's in my top 20 wide receivers this week on the bench.
You have Brian Thomas in your top 20 receivers this week?
Absolutely, dude.
I like him this week. I would not play him as a top 20 receiver, though.
He on the year against cover 3, he has over 3 yards per route run, and the Colts are the heaviest cover 3 team in the league.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I probably should move him up a little bit.
The Jags are implied for nearly 25 points at home.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also have potentially, he's the big play threat. If there's a little bit of weather concerns, it would affect him more so than Kirk. But yeah, he's an interesting play. I have him like 26. I think he's a great play still, but
Spicy, all good. I actually was like trying to remember if I sent you a second slip. It was kind of tough for me because I first of all, in the morning I did my video for the wide receiver rankings. Then I went golfing, and then after golf I had a birthday dinner. So by the time I got home, it was late, and I ended up popping on UFC, falling asleep. So I didn't actually end up getting to that second slip, but I'll still showcase the first slip.
We can make one if you want at the end of the stream.
We can make one together.
Yeah, Spicy's giving us thumbs up. Yeah, let's make one at the end. Okay, so appreciate the question there, Blau. He said, who can I safely drop was the other part to pick up a kicker. Andrews, Sharps, Braylon, Tracy, Dowdle, Hunt, Javonte. Jeez.
You're going to hate me for saying this.
It's Andrews, right?
It's Andrews. It's very easily Andrews.
He's the biggest drop of this group. Part of me
You're not dropping anybody else.
Give up on him this quickly, though.
You have Tucker Kraft. Like,
I know you have Tucker Kraft, but do I want to give up on, like, to me, it's less consequential to drop Javonte Williams, knowing that you have that much running back depth. Whereas, like, Kraft, maybe he's not a great option after 3 weeks, and Andrews, maybe he picks things up.
Maybe. I don't know. I think with Isaiah Likely there, with the low volume of passing that they have had, I am very concerned about Andrews. I consider him a fringe top 15 tight end rest of the season, which is usually about a waiver wire option.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. It's just a hard pill to swallow, knowing that Andrews is such a big name that you could at least maybe trade him. Like, can you do a 2-for-1 trade before kickoff here, where you just offload Andrews and Javonte for a slightly better bench piece or something?
You can try. Also, Jesus Christ, can these frickin' Jets offensive linemen block for a split second?
They cannot. Unfortunately, they cannot block anything. So let's see what happens. Rodgers backed up on his own 1 yard line. Ugh,
Why is my answer just Andrews for the drop?
yeah, the answer is probably Andrews. I personally would prefer to drop Javonte. I think he's more of an inconsequential drop than Andrews could
Fair.
burn you a lot harder, I
The
think,
the
for dropping
reason
him.
why the reason why I say that to you is A, I do really believe in Kraft rest of the season, and B, with Tyler Beatty actually added to IR, I believe, yesterday
Yep.
he was correct with the back
Yeah, I mean,
injury.
if you
This
needed
is how I
Tyler
can make a
Beatty to
living.
be out of the lineup, Javonte was never going to do
Fair.
anything anyways, to be honest. Like, that's my opinion on Javonte Williams, is that he's like
Good
8
point.
PPR points every week, and you're frustrated that you roster him.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate the question there, Blau.
Yeah.
Moving on to Jay Dollarsign. I believe he asked a question earlier. We got another one from him. He says, Dell or Odunze at the flex. Been having trouble linking my ESPN team. So if you're having any trouble, always go to the dev site issues part of the Discord and say, hey, you're having trouble linking your ESPN team. And Joe and Tom and Austin are really good at getting back to you guys there. So if you ever have any trouble, that is in our Discord. You can get into the Discord when you sign up there. It should be linked when you sign up. But Dell or Odunze, to me, this is very clearly Odunze. I don't want to play
I have
Dell.
Dell higher.
I don't want to play Dell until I see him actually play well, because he has not played well at all this year. His reception perception in season charting, according to Matt Harmon, he rated them like kind of red light, yellow light, green light, and he had it as oof for Tank Dell, which is what he had. It dark red light, oof. He's like, he's not separating at a high level right now.
So I don't disagree. However, I would still slightly prefer Dell as kind of like a last shot with him, in the sense that you still have the insulate. Like the Houston Texans are still implied for 24 points. And in terms of a tiebreaker, Dell is projected nearly 13 more yards on underdogs pick'ems right now in terms of his line. So they're both like in the wide receiver 30 to 36 range in both my rankings. But I just got to lean with Houston. I got to lean with Tank Dell. It may come back to bite me, but he's missed a couple big plays down the field that would change the narrative on him in the first few weeks.
He has. You're right. But he's also had some bad drops and hasn't looked right totally.
I'm not disagreeing on that.
Per route basis, he hasn't been great. His PFF grade's really low. His reception perception data is bad. Like, Odunze at least looks great when he gets opportunities. That's why I would rather play Odunze.
Yeah, I mean, the upside is clearly... I mean, they both have a ton of upside. I would slightly lean Dell, but I mean, the matchup is clearly with Odunze. Like I said, I think sooner rather than later, the Bears passing offense will figure it out. And I do think it's this week, but I think it's because I have Odunze in so many spots. Like if you're wondering
if I'm biased here, I have Tank Dell in the Flock League, and I'm telling you,
and I have Odunze. And I have Odunze.
Well, so you'd think I would be the one coping on Tank Dell.
And you think I would be the one going for Odunze?
I'm worried. Like, I'm worried on Tank Dell. I don't think he looks great this year. It's possible that he's like a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 all season long. I really don't think it's out of the range of outcomes that Diggs is this like mid wide receiver 2 all year, and Nico Collins is a high end wide receiver 1, and Dell's just kind of the forgotten guy, and he's like wide receiver 41 in points per game by the time the season's done.
Potentially. So I see a couple comments asking how to ask a question.
Here, I'll actually showcase it right now, because I pulled it up here.
First, the link is pinned in the comments. Second, again, Corey will show you guys the process once you do click that link.
Yeah, so on the site, you guys can see in the top right corner, there's a little comment button that says expert advice when you hover over it, and you just hit expert advice. If you want a team review, you can get a team review. If you want a trade question, you get a trade question, start sit question, so on and so forth. When you hit start sit question, you can link your teams in. Again, I'm in a million leagues, don't worry about it. And then it'll auto-populate. So if I was asking a question about tone set or truthers, it would auto-populate the league scoring format. And then at the bottom here, I'm blocking it, you could see continue, and then you basically set your starting lineup. This is specifically for start sit questions. You'll be considering certain players. Am I starting Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, whatever? And then so on and so forth. If it was a trade question, you would basically just fill out the comment box and fill out the trade via the way that you would in our trade calculator. So just almost had a bomb to Justin Jefferson. That wouldn't have been good.
I'm behind you. Again,
but yeah, that's how you ask a question. And like Danny said, the link is in the chat right here. Ask a question or get your team reviewed. Flockfantasy.com/purchase code FSE to get the question to us. If you do follow the other creators, you can also use their codes and ask them questions as well. But that is how you do it. For those of you guys wondering. So ginger ale, classic, of course.
Also, real quick, Corey, for the 10th time, stop giving me the spoilers in the game. You're ahead.
All right, I will stop. I will stop doing that.
By the way, Jared, you're good. Try to help. Nobody's gonna get mad about that.
Yeah, for sure. So AJ in here, Kareem Hunt, Chris Godwin is the one side here. He would receive the Zay Flowers, the 4th, and Eric All side. I
need
think
a
you could
better
make the
pick.
argument that Flowers and Godwin are actually relatively close. Like before the season, this wouldn't have been close between these two guys. Flowers was like way ahead, but with the way Godwin has played, and Flowers been, I would say, moderately disappointing to some degree. I would prefer the Flowers all in the fourth side because I think all versus Hunt is probably a wash. You
Can you get a better asset than all in a fourth? Like, just say, hey, I have no interest in all. I would do it for a 3.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking to sell off wide receiver production, though, I think this is a good package to offload Godwin for because Godwin's the type of asset that I think
I
people
don't
would be hesitant
disagree.
buying into.
Dude, I don't disagree. I'm saying like all in a fourth is nothing to me. I'd rather have a third.
I mean, all's played well so far this year. So I think he's worth like a third at the very least.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen
so?
his like advanced metrics, man? He's been really good.
I don't know.
He's been quite solid. To me, I think this is a fine buy low on Zay
like,
Flowers. Shed some production with Kareem Hunt and Chris Godwin. Get the point production off of your team too, which is always a huge benefit of getting players off of your roster. So to me, this is a pretty good trade if you're trying to rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would take that side, but I would rather the third. I don't know. Like all is not.
Yeah, if you can get a third instead of all, and you don't really like all, that's fine. But I don't mind grabbing all here. I think he's had an interesting start to his career so far, and of course, he's a University of Iowa tight end, and those guys never miss in the NFL.
You know where he went before, right?
Michigan.
Yeah.
He did. Okay. I would take the Flowers in all side, especially given your team situation. I don't know if you're totally in disagreement. Maybe you could get more for Kareem Hunt and Chris Godwin, but sometimes it's slim pickings. I don't know exactly the league dynamic, but if you and I were to try and sell Chris Godwin off in a league that we're in, people wouldn't be willing to pay.
You're not getting Zay Flowers.
Much. Yeah. Like you're probably getting something like this.
Yeah. Again, like it's not a bad deal because like Kareem Hunt from a dynasty perspective is probably worth a 3 in his own right. So like basically when you're equating it out, Chris Godwin for Zay Flowers, like if you're rebuilding, you would rather have Zay Flowers with the youth because you know it's going to be an asset that translates past this year. Versus with Chris Godwin, again, he is a very production-based asset in the sense that now that he's producing, people really want him in fantasy. If there's a stretch where he goes maybe 4 weeks of 11 points per game, like his cost is almost going to cut in half in the market.
Yeah, and he wasn't worth much coming into the year for that reason because he wasn't all that productive. Even though he was like 1,000-yard receiver the last couple of years, he was like not scoring touchdowns and he wasn't giving you big spike performances. And people kind of treated him like Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Marquise Brown. They were all just kind of like whatever wide receiver 4s for your roster. And now we're a little bit more excited about Chris Godwin there. So I will quick refresh the page here if we have any more questions, and then we can get to some other questions potentially as well.
From A-Stroud, I believe. Is that a team or a trade? Oh, it's sure set both.
Yeah, so we got one from A. Stroud here. He is considering Travis Etienne versus Jacobs. I would go, Jacobs over Etienne as well. And then Etienne and Ayuk are pretty easily the flex options, right? With Neighbors out.
I don't think very easily in a PPR, dude. Like Downs' ceiling this week is so fucking massive. I don't think it's very clearly.
Well, okay, Ayuk is definitely one of them.
Yeah, again, that's where I would lean. I don't know, man. They're both in the same matchup.
On Downs over Etienne, but I do like.
I think I go Etienne, but like this is like RB 18 versus, like I said, wide receiver 28 for me. Like I said, I think the cutoff, because I mentioned I would take Downs over Moss. Like there's a slight gap between Moss and Etienne to the point where that would be like the line between Moss and Etienne, wherever that, like what would be even the middle of that? Let me just check where my rankings are.
Moss and Etienne in my running back ranks would be like Brian Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Trace.
Oh, so you have Robinson lower than I do. I have Robinson at 13.
Yeah, I have Robinson at 15. So I have Etienne one spot ahead of him at 14.
So okay, I have Etienne at 15. My bad. So they're 15 and 19 is where I have Etienne and Moss. Like the difference for me would be like, would you do Swift or Downs this week?
Probably Swift, probably Downs. Sorry, because he also mentions too he needs floor over ceiling, and I think Downs even over Etienne too is probably the safer play. In PPR, you're probably guaranteed like 4 for 50 or 5 for 70 or something like that. Versus Etienne, I mean, he's dealing with a shoulder issue coming into the week. He's kind of been losing some snaps. Sometimes he fumbles, he makes mistakes and things of that nature. So Etienne probably the ceiling play, but probably not the floor play between the two. But I would still go with Etienne personally.
Yeah, I would go with Etienne because I mean Etienne for what it's worth is also in a good matchup. It's not like Etienne's in a terrible matchup and Downs is in a sick one. Like no, like the Colts defense has not been very good either.
Yeah, no, the Colts defense is not good at all. And this is a really good roster that you have on your hands here. So you're in pretty good shape no matter what. So we are caught up on questions for the time being. We can
I can zoom
unshare
through
the
to members
screen,
first and
monitor
then go
the,
top right.
what's
Oh,
up?
okay, I'm gone. I was gonna say I can scroll through, see where the members are then, because we will try to get through more members' comments too moving forward. Trade David Montgomery for Joe Mixon full PPR. I'm absolutely taking Joe Mixon every time here, especially
I
if you can
don't
afford the
hate
week.
Montgomery over. If you wanted to say I would take Montgomery over Mixon, I don't hate that take.
I'd fade him.
Just because of the injury kind of already affecting Mixon. He's definitely the safer projection, Montgomery, but I do think Mixon has the higher ceiling season long.
I mean, like, I don't know when everything I saw in week 1 in terms of his fit in his offense, in terms of how he was getting the blocking up front, in terms of how the running backs have looked in his absence, dude. I think Mixon, it feels gross saying this about an older running back. I think Mixon can legitimately win leagues this year. I'm not even trolling.
He could. Yeah, he definitely could. He's Aaron Rodgers getting his ass kicked right now. Sorry, I spoiled it again, but I'm just pissed.
Fuck.
But yeah, if you want to keep ripping through some members, we did get one more question, but let's get through the members ones first.
So I believe there's another one up here I'll get to as well. Should I start Wix or JSN? You guys are split, but I have
We're not split anymore. I have
Wix
Wix over JSN now. Before I was JSN over Wix, but I'm Wix over JSN now.
Which, by the way, you just thought about it more. You're like, oh yeah, Wix is actually such a smash. Like, what happened?
Well, it's the game environment, and the fact that JSN. There was some tweets coming out about JSN's separation score, and it's not that great right now. So I'm a little bit hesitant on just penciling in JSN as an every week starter as a result.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this after the fact too. Again, I still think JSN's fine. He's a top 25-ish level receiver for me because the Seahawks offense is so good. But the Giants have quietly actually been pretty good against slot wide receivers. So we could see how that dynamic actually works out. But Hall needs to get going, followed up by Christian shout out. We just did the console with him. He says Hall sucks. Yeah, I lean on the Hall needs to get going part because
Car Shizzle also says too that he forgot to add on the Montgomery over Mixon trade that he's 2-2 if that would sway you in any way. It might, honestly. Montgomery's on bye, so it's not like Mixon that you're using him this week or anything. But yeah, I do think if your team projects really good late season, you definitely want to go Mixon over Montgomery. But if you're not great of a team and you need wins right away, I think Montgomery's not bad.
So Adam says he left a comment on Flock, so you can take
yeah, he did. I see it.
All right, perfect. So we will get to that again. Appreciate the update as well, Adam. Can we get? Oh my god, I just saw the Rodgers sack on 2nd and 3.
Yeah, it's bad. Kareem Hunt, Chase Brown. I have Kareem Hunt one spot higher as of right now. I don't know about you.
They are currently RBs. 21 is Hunt, 23 is Brown for me.
So yeah, you're going Kareem Hunt there as well.
Yep.
Not a great matchup against New Orleans, but I do like the situation there. And then Wicks versus Kirk is semi-close, but I would prefer Dontavian Wicks.
Grab the candle, baby. Grab the candle. We're lighting Wicks today.
Yeah, we are absolutely lighting Wicks today. It is a very, very good matchup for one Dontavian Wicks. We could probably go all the way back up to the top, but I appreciate the question there, AJC. And then we can go back up to the top here. We got from Chase was the first one in the chat. I have Aaron Jones and need a high upside flex. Whittington, Sermon, Tracy, or Jennings.
Two scream to me as upside. Two scream as upside.
Yeah, the running backs. Upside. The running backs are the upside plays. Sermon.
The other one is Whittington, man. Upside.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Colts Jags game has a chance to really be high scoring in my opinion with Flacco.
Packers Rams also.
Yeah. No, you're definitely onto something there. I actually think you're in a pretty good spot here. So yeah. If you wanted, I think it's Tracy full PPR and you wanted to go with Whittington because you just want to stack up the catches, that's fine. I would go Sermon over Tracy personally if you're going to go with the running back.
I mean, if you need high upside, all of these
guys are good plays.
If you need upside, you going with the worst talent isn't the play,
in full PPR. If you need upside, the play is Whittington, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's a top 40 wide receiver for me. I personally would still go Tracy because I do think, I was higher on Tracy as a prospect than you were, but like you said, if it's just pure upside, Whittington ran 97% of the routes for the fucking Rams last week.
Oh, he did.
He was used in the Cup Nakua role.
Yeah, he was used pretty well in that role. I don't disagree at all that he's a good play. I just think that Sermon in an offense that looked really good when Joe Flacco was operating it, the upside play for Sermon is that he punches in 2 touchdowns, which I absolutely think could happen against the Jaguars. Yep. The Jaguars, by the way, one of the worst defenses in the league against the pass and the run. So they're going to move the ball like crazy, I think, Indianapolis.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, I feel like I'm in a nice spot because in my in a single league, I have Trey Sermon, Tyrone Tracy in one of the leagues, and in the other league, I have Jordan Whittington and Tyrone Tracy. So, yeah, either way, we were feeling good.
Mitchell Anderson here says, "Hey guys, love the content. Please pick one full PPR: CJ Stroud or Josh Allen. Also, you pick Rashid Shaheed, Tank Dell, and Dontavian Wicks. So, I mean, you never sit Josh Allen. That's just the rule number one of fantasy football.
And then
Tank Dell, Shaheed, or Dontavian Wicks. I have Shaheed over Dell, so I'm going Wicks and Shaheed.
I'd be sitting Shaheed.
So you want to write that one down? You want to go Shaheed versus Dell?
They're like back to back in my rankings, dude. There's not much conviction between those two.
Okay. And then pick one Brian Robinson or Chase Brown. That's very easily Brian Robinson for me there, Mitchell.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Rolando says, here we go. Flex Tank Dell or Jordan Whittington. Again, you're going to hate me, but I have Jordan Whittington over Tank Dell, especially in full PPR. I think Whittington's the better play.
Let me see their projections on Underdog. What is Whittington's line right now? He's actually got a higher receiving line.
Yeah, because Dell's been bad. That's why.
Yeah, all right, maybe I should fucking lower Dell a little bit.
What's the harm in letting Dell prove it first for me?
Yeah.
Like as a Tank Dell manager in our flock league, what's the harm in letting him actually have a good game before I put him out there?
It's not a bad point.
My other options are Wandale and Wicks and stuff. Like, there's no reason for me to play Dell in that situation.
So I'm capitulating a good amount. I dropped Dell down to 38. I had him at 31, and I moved Whittington to 35. And I would also take Whittington over Jalen Waddle. I don't know if that's a hot take.
No, it definitely shouldn't be.
Now that I'm thinking about it more.
I do actually kind of like the Dolphins to bounce back a little bit as an offense, but I think it'll run through Tyreek and A-Chain personally.
Yeah, like you said, if it's just close projections, like for me, I was ranking Dell aggressively with the hopes that we could see with the insulation of this offense, him come back to life. But coming off of injury, I probably should have baked that even a little bit more than I did.
Oh, so is that a pick?
Yeah. Yeah. Love you. This is like the 15th time you spoiled me. Hey, take a drink every time Corey fucking says it in the chat.
I waited a while, dude. I waited a while for that one.
I
like 5 minutes ago almost.
I'm at 9:47 clock. I literally, as you said, oh, is that a pick? Is when he caught it.
Okay, well then I'm perfect timing then. I saw it like a minute and a half ago.
Sorry, when the ball was in the air. That's when I heard.
Okay, well so then I'm my timing is perfect. It's impeccable.
This game is so fucking boring. I don't play.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, this game is so fucking boring, is what Spicy said in our private chat here. Love or Fields? That's tough. I like both of them, but Jordan Love's definitely, he can't leave your lineup today.
He's my quarterback 4 on the slate.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this trade potential that I have on the table? Arnold in my home league has 2 quarterbacks that are both really good. He has Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love, and he's looking to offload one of those quarterbacks. I have Anthony Richardson and Brock Purdy as of right now. He also has Bijan, and he's interested in doing a little Falcon on Falcon.
How did he get Bijan?
He traded for Bijan this week.
From D-Bell?
Yeah.
D-Bell didn't even tell me about that. What happened? What was the deal?
The trade was, let me tell you. The trade was, where is it? There's so many trades that go down in my home league. You know how like people in our comments say, nobody ever trades in my league. It's like my league is the total opposite. There's like 3 trades every day. He traded Xavier Worthy, Gibbs, and TJ Hawkinson for Deontay Johnson and Bijan.
You know what's funny that you actually mentioned that? D-Bell literally like messaged me and he's like, I need a tight end. I could go after Hawkinson, ? I'm like, yeah, if you want to. He didn't even tell me that he traded Bijan.
Dude, this might be a hot take, but I wouldn't be shocked if TJ Hawkinson's the tight end one rest of the season when he comes back.
I mean, this offense,
assuming he's healthy and playing at the level he was playing before, which is a big if, obviously, because he's coming off an ACL tear. But I wouldn't be shocked if he played at a super high level when he got back.
By the way, Cody, appreciate the support, but yeah, YouTube takes too big of a cut to make super chats sustainable for us long term. The flock does not take.
Also, we don't want you guys paying YouTube's bills here.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, like half of the super chats that we get, half that money goes to YouTube, and it's just more sustainable for us long term not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So
appreciate the support nonetheless, but yeah,
we do appreciate it.
It's a lot easier for us.
Yeah, it is. The other thing too is like, if you're just a site subscriber, you can also just like ask us questions in the Discord, like in the private channels too. So you don't have to go through this. And you'll like, if you're a site subscriber, you also have our rankings, which I just literally updated mine 2 minutes ago in the weekly rankings manifesto. So you don't even have to ask us a question.
Did Tyler Conklin just die?
He might have.
Okay.
6 point per passing touchdown, Caleb or Dalton? That's a wild question in the year 2024, but it is Caleb Williams.
It's crazy because like even matchup, I'd probably take Dalton, but Dalton plays a very tough matchup with the Chicago Bears defense, and Caleb plays
same game.
the absolute sieve that is Carolina's defense. So
yeah, Caleb's got a better matchup for sure in that game. But I mean, at this point in the calendar year 2024, is Dalton the better quarterback? Definitely.
Absolutely. Right now, yeah, absolutely. I don't think that has to be a debate either. So if Brees is not, I hope he saves it. I need a couple more dump offs too. Just give me a couple dump. Oh, Rodgers, where is that going? 5 feet out of bounds. Nice, great.
It's amazing that the Jets are still in this game after how bad the first quarter and a half went. Lockett or Akers? Probably Akers, right?
Yeah. You have to go.
I don't mind Lockett in full PPR. Potentially, he could catch some passes, but I think Akers is the better play there.
Dude, can this guy Rodgers? Okay. Inside the seven. Lock in.
I have a good feel for how behind you are now because I was timing it, and it's about 1 minute and 20 seconds.
I'm at 8:02 left on the clock right now. I mean, it's not like I'm behind. I'm watching it off of DAZN, so DAZN's
yeah,
behind.
I just have it on Canadian ESPN called TSN here. Niners Worldwide says full PPR, Achane or Moss. Pick one, Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, so first part of the question is Achane for sure.
Achane and
Pick
MHJ.
one, Marvin, Kirk, Downs. Marvin, you don't sit Marvin Harrison Jr. And then the Packers or 49ers defense.
Niners.
Yeah, I would take the Niners defense. Stafford's definitely capable of slinging a pick six or something, but I would definitely go with the 49ers D. Zachary says
Rodgers just got to delay a game on the goal line.
Yeah, he did.
Fucking Christ.
Also, Tyler Conklin is headed to the medical tent right now.
Yeah, he got crunched. I thought he died.
Yeah, he got crunched there. In a PPR league, who should I start? T. Higgins or Tyreek? You got to play Tyreek there. I like T. Higgins quite a bit this week, but I'm going Tyreek for sure.
Agreed. Do we have any site questions, by the way?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on. We don't at the moment.
Okay.
See, this is also isn't this better? Like, I mean, you guys don't have to pay for questions nearly as much. This is a lot better. Stream Bears defense or New England. Bears versus Carolina, New England versus the Dolphins.
I mean,
New England
Carolina
at home favored versus the Dolphins.
But it's also New England, and it's the Bears. The Bears have been a really good defense.
Yeah, the Bears have been good. It's a pretty close discussion, though. I would definitely take the Bears now that I think about it. But
was that when Brees caught the ball in the flat?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Stafford or Flacco for a floor play? I think Flacco is definitely the better play.
Okay. Someone scored.
By
the way, taste the Skittles. No, we are not picking questions randomly. We're going in order, and we're also going to the site because site questions skip the line.
Yeah, so we go site questions. If we don't have any site questions, we go member questions for people who are members. And then if we don't have any member questions, we just go to the beginning of the stream. So it would behoove you guys to have noties on and be in here early so that you can get your question potentially answered without having to pay a damn thing, which is how in an ideal world the fantasy questions would work. We just unfortunately 4 years ago we were able to answer as many questions as we wanted to.
Yeah, shout out to the true OGs like who were back then, because like again, like things. We still appreciate all of you guys who leave the comments. By the way, that's either Garrett or Bree, so I'm pretty happy now. Appreciate all the comments.
You'll see what it is.
It's just at this point, it's very tough. It's a lot different when there's 20 people in here watching versus, again, over 250, which, again, appreciate you guys for being in here regardless.
But, yeah. Traded a 2025 second and a 27 second for B-Rob and Adams last night. I think that's probably a decent price to pay. B-Rob's definitely worth a 25 too with the way that he's producing, and Adams definitely worth that price tag, assuming he gets traded or whatever. Yeah, that's why I was excited. Mooney wide receiver 1 season incoming. No, but I think he's going to be a fixture flex play week over week, to be honest, given the way that the offense looks and the way that they're throwing the ball right now.
Like I could keep talking about, like, is Darnell Mooney going to be, it almost feels like the Jacoby Myers complex last year where it's like, yeah, he's very good, but like how sustainable is it? Also, this is the spoiler I do not want to see.
Okay. I won't say anything, but I saw the play.
Okay. I mean, if Brees Hall's not in the lineup at that play, I don't really care.
What else do we got here? Start Wicks or Pickens. This is a close discussion. I love Pickens this week too, but it is
you
Wicks.
could just say it straight to me. Did Braylon score?
No.
Okay.
You're gonna see it in a second.
Okay. Now I'm nervous. Oh, what is that play? He ran a slant. It fucking. What is going on?
Hey, hear me out, Danny. Hear me out.
Who's outscoring Jefferson? I knew you right that. You fucking have. You know what's crazy is Jefferson has had like 60% of his points in the first drive and has done nothing since. Like what?
Dude, Garrett Wilson outscoring Jefferson. I galaxy brained my way into that. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. I'm still an idiot for passing on.
He's Wan'Dale Robinson PPR scamming, except he actually found the end zone.
Yeah, literally. That's exactly what happened. We did get one more site question, so I'll pull that one up in a second. Sit 1/2 PPR, Wicks, Amari, BTJ. Wow, dude. BTJ is the lowest of that group for me.
He is for me, but like, what in the world? I have all these guys within 15 to 20 in my rankings.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy question right there. Okay, let's get back to the
and if this is the sentiment in your league, go buy Breece Hall.
Bijan, but worse, sell ASAP. Dude, like, I get being frustrated with Breece Hall, but this is like absolutely the worst time to sell him. Like, come on, guys. This is the worst time to sell him. You wait for if you actually hate Breece Hall and you want him off your team, you gotta wait for a good game against not the best run defense in the NFL.
Hey, on the bright side, think of it as improvement. He went from 3.8 last week to he has 6.1 right now. We're steadily getting back up.
2 yards per carry instead of 1.1 or whatever it was last week.
A few catches. Woohoo.
Yeah, he's brutal right now. Anyways, we got another question on the site here. C. Rich asks us, this is my starting lineup. Need to start 2 between Cooper, Ayuk, Higgins, Pickens, BTJ, and Wicks. Jesus, dude.
Do you just not have a tight end in your league? Fair play.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he just doesn't care about his tight end spot. Okay, of the 2 wide receivers, I mean, Collins has to be in your lineup like he mentions here.
Yeah.
I think he's got the right lineup set, personally.
So who's he have in the flex?
So he has Ayuk in the flex, Cooper in the other wide receiver spot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. Cooper plays at 1. Right. Ayuk plays at 4. So
no, you're playing Wicks over Ayuk for sure.
You're putting Wicks over Ayuk?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do that. I get the allure for Wicks.
I would,
but I would play Ayuk.
I'm going Wicks.
The 49ers are implied for 29 points this week.
I get that, and Ayuk. We've said that every single week.
I'm sure we have, but this is
we've said every single fucking week how Ayuk's the Niners offense apply for this. I even talked about it in the wide receiver rankings video. I'm like, look, I get it. I can go through every fucking peripheral, the target share, the fucking implied points of this offense, the matchup at stake. Ayuk's just got to fucking play better football. That's what it comes down to. And Wicks, every time he's got the opportunity, has played good football on a 25-point implied offense. Like, I don't know. At this point, I have more faith putting Wicks in my lineup than I do Ayuk. There's still good plays for what it's worth. But.
18 targets, by the way, for Garrett Wilson, 11 for 76 and a touch. That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby.
Hey, shout out Zach Urbadaki in here as well. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Zach.
You have to make a bid on that for the fucking Flock League.
Oh, I'm going to. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna do. You know the thing that Nathan did with Kyron and Justin Jefferson, where he's like outscored the other, and I'm gonna just be like, hey,
hear me out.
For what it's worth. Our prediction of Garrett Wilson is this year's CeeDee Lamb. Go look at CeeDee Lamb's point per game production through the first 4 games of the season. It was better than Garrett Wilson, but it was definitely not as good as what it was down the stretch.
No, it was the Chargers game that changed everything for the Cowboys offense last year. That was week 5 or week 6, I believe. So yeah, same timeline pretty much. Was that Quinn?
I think was Quinn Williams. You guys have a week 6 bye last year or something?
Week 7 bye, but we either played the Chargers week 6 and then the bye week 7, or we had the bye week and then played the Chargers week 7. It was one or the other.
We just need Wilson's confidence up, man. That's all I'm talking about here. But anyways, C. Rich, I do believe you have the best lineup set currently. As much as I love Higgins this week, I love BTJ this week, I love Wicks this week, I love Pickens this week. You got to make some consolidation moves, my man, because in a start 7, take if Ayuk has a great game this week or Cooper has a great game this week, take Cooper plus whatever. Pickens or something, and go after a better receiver to consolidate your lineup a little bit because it is too deep.
Also, for the record, I would have Wicks over Ayuk.
Yeah, I would not. I like Ayuk bounce back week this week.
Yeah, go nuts. I mean,
this is the week where my whole fantasy football portfolio balances out. Garrett Wilson's had a good game. Drake London's had a good game. Now I need Ayuk. He's the other guy that needs to have a good game, and Higgins is the other one too.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Ayuk to just in an actual smash bot actually smash, but like I literally said it in the wide receiver video. It's like, dude, given these peripherals, like Ayuk should be ranked in my top 12, but until he actually fucking goes out there and actualizes these peripherals, he's going to be a low end wide receiver too. Like straight up.
Yeah, no, it's fair. What does Jefferson have? 15 points? That's cute. Just kidding. He's got 6 for 92, which is like a way more like sustainable stat line than what Wilson has right now.
Dude, Garrett Wilson's averaging 4 yards per target right now.
Yeah, well, he's the new Deontay. Full PPR flex.
Wait,
one
11 for
Jennings,
76. Is that not literally what the line was for Wan'Dale Robinson against the Cowboys?
Probably. Jennings or Leggett? I'm going Xavier Leggett there. Dan.
Yeah.
Y'all flexing T. Higgins or Josh Downs? I want T. Higgins there. One. James.
Yeah, slightly.
James. Oh, that's slightly for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have Downs.
This is a Higgins eruption spot waiting to happen, dude.
I don't disagree. I have Higgins at 22. I have Downs at 28, though. They're both really good players. Also, Wan'Dale was 11 for 71.
Sorry, I ruined something. You'll see nothing happened. It was
good thing I didn't hear you.
Play.
Good thing I didn't hear you because I was talking.
James Cook or Chuba Hubbard PPR. That is James Cook. As much as I love Chuba this week, KMN killer. Start 2 of Cooper, Wicks, BTJ, Achan. How can you only start 2 of these players?
What the fuck?
This is Achan and Cooper, I think, in my rankings.
What's the scoring? You're gonna hate me for saying this. I think you're gonna hate me for saying this. I think in a full PPR you can start Wicks over Achan.
Yeah, I don't think that's an outrageous take, but I would rather start Achan and Cooper. I think the Dolphins are going to surprise people this week. I think this is a bounce back spot for them.
It may be a bounce back spot, but there's also a smash spot for Wicks.
Yeah, it is. It is. That one's close. Cooper is the lock there, and then between Wicks and Achan, it would be close, but I would go Achan personally. Should I start Ramondre or Gibson? If I had the decision point, I would start Gibson based on their comments.
Very easily. Very easily. They already said that Ramondre is going to ride the pine.
Yeah, I have them ranked cowardly, like close together, but I do still have Gibson ahead.
Yeah, like I don't. They're not far off. Like I think it's like RB 28 versus RB 34 for me. Like, let me see.
I have them 28 and 29 right now because I'm a coward, but I'm gonna actually move Stevenson below Eckler and Roshan and Braylon, who are already locked in my lineup.
He has to be below Justice Hill too. Has to be.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't have Justice Hill that high. People got mad in the comments of the running back tier list. I didn't have him in my top 36 because he was at 37.
Yeah, I know those ones. Well, that was Wan'Dale for me. My rankings this week. He was 37 for me. Everybody's like, "Where's Wan'Dale?" I'm like,
Wan'Dale shouldn't have been 37 for you. That's why.
Tell me how many first downs the Giants offense has this week in the passing game.
I don't know. Probably 10, and they're all by Wan'Dale.
Maybe 6 by Wan'Dale, 4 by Tracy out of the backfield in the flats.
Is the offense going to move all that worse with Tracy at the running back spot than Singletary?
No, it's Neighbors.
Obviously it's Neighbors, but at the same time, it's just generating first downs. Like creating big plays and scoring points. Yeah, Neighbors is the big deal, but just generating first downs, I think that Tracy and Wan'Dale can keep the offense moving.
Sorry, I am behind you. So you already know that is a fucking massive stop for the fucking Jets.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
They can win this game.
They can win this game.
What?
Also, I have a huge parlay of every single spread this week just because on the off chance that I hit every single one, I would win a lot of cash. But the Jets +2 was one of them, and I just assumed it was torched. But we'll see. Full PPR, Garrett Wilson's already playing. JSN, Sermon for... it's a trade. Okay. Wilson, JSN, Sermon for Ladd and Neighbors.
A lot of Neighbors. Sermon is a short-term play, and I think, honestly, Neighbors at this point is probably worth Garrett Wilson and JSN.
I think you can make the argument. This might be a hot take that Ladd McConkey and JSN are not that far off in value.
Well, they are, but I'm even saying, like, even if you canceled Sermon and Ladd, I think the going rate for Malik Neighbors, the difference between a low-end wide receiver 1 versus a high-end wide receiver 1 is about a JSN at least.
Yeah,
I would rather have Neighbors side.
Account for McConkey and JSN. Like, would it shock you if Ladd outscored JSN the rest of the season?
No. Top 15 is faded. If you said like, oh, he'll be like a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, sure. Top 15 is faded.
I like a full PPR top 15. I like
Top
it.
15 is faded.
It's
I
not
love you,
faded.
Christian. That is faded.
I believe we got one more question here on the site.
Are the Giants going to put up 15 points?
They could.
They very well could.
Anyways, we got one here from Fredo or Fred. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Lopez.
Fredo.
We got one from Lopez here.
Hey, or Fredor. Or
Fredor.
Why did I say it like that?
Who else should I play at wide receiver besides Nico? He has listed here. Okay. So Higgins and Chris Olave is who he has in currently. I am playing Cooper over both of those options. And personally,
Yes.
Higgins, I have Higgins over Olave this week because of the tough matchup against Kansas City.
Olave is the 2 after Nico.
I would play Higgins over Olave this week.
No.
We can make a bet on that one if you want.
We'll do that. Full PPR?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Nothing happened.
You're good.
It's hard not to react. Like it's difficult.
I know. I know
Get a better streaming service.
I mean, it's not a streaming service. I'm on DAZN. Why don't you just watch it on DAZN when you know I'm on DAZN so we're both not spoiled?
Because the audio was
Like an
fucking
asshole.
lagging like crazy on DAZN, and I want to.
You have audio. You have audio on while you're watching.
Well, I don't now. That's a good point.
That's what I mean.
Earlier.
Fair.
But anyways, Cooper definitely needs to be in your lineup. Like I said, I would play Higgins over Olave. But if you want to go Olave over Higgins, given the like target share and that kind of thing, like, I mean, the way that the target distribution is with the Bengals versus the Saints, like you'd think, oh, Chase is very clearly leading the team in receiving and target share and that kind of thing versus Olave is very clearly leading the team with the Saints. It's actually not the case. Like Rashid Shaheed and Olave have been very close in target share.
They've been a what? So, okay, this was my rationale because I actually did address that on the wide receiver rankings video. And I literally said, I'm like, based off how they've been performing so far, you can even well make the case. Because I think I had Olave at 11 or 12 and I had Shaheed at 34. I'm like, you could very well make the case they should be back-to-back right now. And I don't think you would be wrong. However, I'm baking in that I think Chris Olave is going to start separating himself.
Yeah,
that's
where I'll capitulate and I'll leave Olave in here. But I want the record to show once you get sent this here, Fredore or Fredo, whatever your name is. I would personally start T. Higgins over Chris Olave, but we do actually, I believe, have another one that just came in as well. Yep. So I'll pull up that one really quick. B. Seither.
Sure.
So it looks like we're considering between these three running backs here. Yeah, Sermon's got to be the first one for sure because he's the one better workload of the three. And then it's kind of like which pass catching back or which, what's up?
You might just get hit with the Rico.
Yeah, you probably will get hit with the Rico. I think Eckler's definitely, I understand why you're asking this question because Brian Robinson coming into the game banged up. Eckler's actually been over 10 PPR points every game that he's played, even though Brian Robinson's been producing at a pretty high level. Jaden Daniels obviously trusts him, so he's getting targets out of the backfield, but I would slightly prefer Rico Dowdle. I think the game environment with the Steelers, should be a relatively close game on Sunday Night Football, so I like Rico to get some touches. Yeah,
I agree there. By the way, if you guys didn't get the reference, make sure you are following the Flock League because I got roasted for trading or roasted in the sense that, I fleeced a dev because I sent him basically Rico Plus for Jonathan Brooks. He was winless going into the week, and Rico Dowdle helped him get his first win. So I'm just saying, you might just get hit with the Rico.
Yeah, Rico's a classic. Where do we leave off here? We got DJ Moore, George Pickens, or Brandon Ayuk PPR. I like Ayuk the most of that group. I know you're kind of playing it scared with Ayuk, but I'm not. I'm just pretending Ayuk is just as good as I thought he was.
Ayuk's still my number one.
I think he's a bounce back week.
For the record, he's still the highest of these three.
Yeah, for sure. Full PPR, Ayuk, Brian Thomas Jr., and Higgins start two. I'm sitting B-Tom there. I guess I'm just higher on Higgins this week.
You're not sitting BTJ.
I'm sitting B-Tom for Higgins. Yeah, for sure.
BTJ is my number one.
Potential weather concerns, and you have Trevor Lawrence.
BTJ is my number one of these.
Now.
Dude, BTJ is a fucking superstar at this point.
He's great.
He's
Higgins
unbelievable.
Targets, man.
Sure, BTJ is just flat out a way better player, and he's playing against a fucking defense that runs cover 3, which he's obliterated for over 3 yards per route run this year.
He has, but the game environment's better with the Bengals. I don't think he's necessarily.
Why is it better? Why is the game environment better?
Because there's no weather concerns, and it's the highest over/under game on the slate.
And the Jaguars Colts game is top 5 and over under, and is the fastest paced game of the slate. You know
Yeah,
that.
you're right. I think the Bengals and Ravens game is gonna fucking
Very
bang.
comparable game environments, and Brian Thomas Jr. looks like a superstar right now. Is where I'm at.
Yeah, I think Higgins has been this close to like a monster game for like 2 games now since he's
He's
been
my
back,
wide
and I
receiver
like him.
22. I don't like Brian Thomas Jr. I think has to be a mid range wide receiver 2 right now. He's wide receiver 18.
I have Thomas at 26, so I really like him this week. But
who do you have at 24 or 25?
Or hold on, I actually maybe moved one guy ahead of him. Hold on. I have Thomas Jr. at 25. Sorry, not 26.
Who do you have ahead of him?
I have George Pickens at 1 spot ahead of him. I love Pickens this week. I think he has a good spot to have a big game.
Trayvon Diggs listed as ready to go in this game. I just think the
game, you guys aren't going to be able to stop anything on defense. That's just my thought on it.
I mean, we'll find out. We did look.
You have no edge rushers right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
I have Higgins at 21 and Thomas at 25. I don't think that's an outrageous discrepancy between the two.
I'll give you your choice: BTJ versus Higgins or Pickens.
Higgins or Pickens in terms of a bet?
Pick either one.
I already bet on Higgins with the Olave one, so I'll do Pickens then.
All right, give me BTJ full PPR.
Oh,
that was erotic. I just saw the Alan Lazard play.
No, you're gonna see what just happened there.
I was gonna say like he sounded pretty like.
God, that would have been insane.
He sounded like you were linking up with Deshaun Watson for a second.
Zach Moss or Brian Robinson. That's Brian Robinson.
Brain Robinson, baby.
Yeah, Brain Robinson. I believe I know. I believe we also had another question come through on the site here that I'll pull up.
Get that going.
Where are we? Hey-ho. Yeah, this is the Garrett Wilson eruption game, by the way.
Hey, Mighty Booch, shout out. No Flockin.
Shout out to Mighty Booch in the No Flockin League, I believe, with us.
Yeah. Yep. 18 team guillotine. Which one are you going with? Honestly, with no Shakir in the lineup, I'm cautiously optimistic about Curtis Samuel this week.
I am too. I took I had a parlay where I took the over on his receiving yards. It was like 32.5 or something like that. I was like, dude, I kind of like Curtis Samuel to just work into Shakir's role, to be honest.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. This is probably the Garrett Wilson you thought you were getting with the draft. He's making every catch.
Precisely the Garrett Wilson I thought I was getting.
Dude, but are they gonna win this game? Knock on wood, because I
would love for them to. That would be really nice.
Yeah. Sorry, we would go with Curtis Samuel, though they're all like very comparable plays. But with McBride playing this game, I think that knocks Michael Wilson. And if I knew Juju Smith-Schuster was for sure going to take the slot role of the team, I think he could be even higher. But I don't trust.
I got to see it a little bit first, I think.
Like, dude, are we at all shocked if they just throw like Sky Moore into the slot?
Oh, I hope not.
You know what I mean?
Sky Moore is one of the bigger head scratch evaluations we're gonna have, because the guy was legit good in college. And he had a great profile.
Did he forget how to play football? Like, I think that's where I'm at with it.
I don't know. Maybe like had one too many hits in practice and forgot how to run routes or something. But he had good hands in college. He had good route running in college. He's a small school guy, but like he was dominant, man. Like, it's weird. I don't know how the hell that guy failed so hard.
For sure. By the way, give Brees the rock. If Brees bails me out with a touchdown, I'd be so happy.
That would be helpful as well for me.
Yeah, appreciate the question, Booch. We'll check. You got the top, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Actually, we got a member comment here from Lemony. Very cool name, by the way, Lemony Crawdad. I actually really like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Sounds like it's from New Orleans and fuck the Saints. But anyways, we'll answer your question.
Shaheed or Sermon in a full PPR? Ooh, I lean Sermon because Shaheed does have a tough matchup. Also, I thought Rodgers was going to catch that and run. Shaheed,
yeah, that would have been funny. Also, by the way, I'll get back to the question in a second. Of course, if Mason wins this week, it'll be because fucking Avery had Aaron Jones go down in his lineup.
Dude, he knows how to get into the heads of his opposing players. I don't know how to describe it, man. Like, he has the factor, you know?
Yeah. But I would go Sermon here. I actually really like Shaheed this week, but I would go Sermon. I think he has a good opportunity to punch in a touchdown or two.
By the way, facts, Car Chisel. Let's hope for a
Brees Hall that would be correct. I would also appreciate a Brees Hall touchdown.
Anytime there, Crawdad. Anytime.
Okay, what else do we got here? Zach Moss or Brian. Let's try and hammer through some questions here. Zach Moss or Brian Robinson. I'm taking B-Rob. I think we already answered that one. Likely or Strange. Definitely Isaiah Likely. If McBride plays, you should be just fine. But I would go Likely in the case that he doesn't.
McBride is playing, for the record.
Yeah, I think he should be active, but he plays at 4, so I don't know if you actually know that 100%.
I love both these. They're back-to-back 17 and 18. It is Wicks, but I want both these fucking guys in my lineup.
The fuck is that? You're gonna see this play in a second. What the hell was that?
I just saw the Rodgers one where he was like falling and shit.
No, you're gonna see. What the hell is Mike Williams doing, bro? What the hell is Mike Williams doing?
God, so that sounds like a 4th and long. By the way, that guy's got a Dak jersey on. Shout out the boy.
Wicks or Brian Thomas at flex? That's Wicks for me.
They are back-to-back for me, but yeah, Wicks.
We starting Wicks or Pickens? That is Wicks for me. Their slate. Yeah, he just runs them out of the building. Like, what is that?
What? Does he want to turn back for the bar? Did he think he was run blocking? Sorry.
Yeah, Gilly played that really well.
Trade Terry and Wilson and BTJ for Wilson or nah? No.
No, probably not. I think that's close though.
Like,
if you got a piece back, I would.
Yeah, if you got a piece back, maybe. But dude, like, BTJ, I think is going to be on.
Oh, here comes he's the new Nico. Danny's going to glaze BTJ.
I'm telling
off the glaze.
Dude,
I mean, we comped him to Nico coming out of school, so.
Dude, he looks like baby Nico already, man. He looks so good.
He looks great. Yeah, he looks great. If the Jags weren't such an unmitigated disaster, I think we'd all be talking about Brian Thomas a lot more.
Yeah. You see how confused Aaron Rodgers is? He's like, what the fuck are you doing, Mike?
Yeah, that's why Garrett had 20 targets and you had like 2.
Yeah.
I think Garrett had 20 targets in that game. 22 targets.
So the game's over for you. Got it. Okay, so what did Brees have? 4.4, 6.7. Okay. Did he at least even out fucking Addison?
He had 7.7 in my home league because I got 0.5 bonuses for first downs. Thankfully, Drake London dropped a 35 bomb on my team already, so that helps me. What a catch.
Oh, he's talking about the interception. I thought he was talking about fucking Mike Williams. No, yeah. I know why Chris is saying that. Remember, he was starting the Vikings D.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Garrett Wilson with 29 points. About fucking time you show up and perform.
I'll go back to the top of the comments, but I have to show this. Yeah, Nico is basically, knock on wood, God. Because last time I called someone God, it didn't work out.
Yeah, Nico, dude, you already have done this now multiple times where you're jinxing your players. And
dude, it's not a jinx when you knock on wood. Confirmed. Hey, it's not a jinx when you knock on wood. Everybody knows the rules.
Knock on wood if you're with me. Speaking of which, shout out to John Gruden's YouTube channel. It's the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life.
That guy's one-liners are fucking perfection.
Dude, he's like, I'd rather go to see the dentist and have my teeth pulled than see a Todd Bowles defense on a Thursday night. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, he just like screams Chucky shit into the camera for like 30 straight minutes. And I literally can't get enough of it as a person who grew up when he was a coach of my favorite team.
By the way, people are asking for the pick'em, so I will share mine. You get yours in as well. I don't know why it's not showing up on the screen. Oh, it's because we are in this view. Oh, that's not the.
Oh, hey, bye, Danny.
This one. Why is it going in the background? Oh, I added.
Oh shit! I put it in the. You put it in the wrong spot. Here, how about I show mine? It's because you don't know how to properly put it in.
I'm so baked for that.
So for me, I like Wandale to get higher than 8.5 targets. PPR scam season. Amari Cooper higher than 7.5 targets. Washington defense is awful against the pass. Dontavian Wicks. I mean, we've been talking about him all stream long. Eruption spot for him. And as I talked about already, I like George Pickens to go higher than 51.5 receiving yards. My running back pick'em already got torched. Spicy, you can confirm it with a thumbs up.
Oh, we got to make one too with Spicy. We got to make one too with Spicy.
I think mine got torched already. Yeah, we'll make it in a second because Brees did not have more than 1.5 receiving yards in the first quarter.
Amen. And I'll quickly go through mine because, again, we do have to make it. It's funny. We both have the Amari Cooper 7.5 targets. Very advantageous matchup. Washington can't stop a nosebleed. Second easiest matchup on the matchup chart. Roma Dunze, same thing. Carolina can't stop a nosebleed as well. Roma Dunze running 90% of the team routes. We expect this to be a bounce back spot for the Bears passing offense.
Why don't you just say less analysis instead of talking faster?
Sorry. Josh Downs higher, 6.95 passing.
Go Flacco.
If you've been watching the stream, you'll know that. And then Dontavian Wicks, again, if you've been watching the stream, you'll know that. So sorry, but we will do this now.
You still have this background on with Romo dudes and Dontavian Wicks.
Sorry.
The dumbest shit I've ever seen.
We're so discombobulated. Holy fuck.
You're just picking the wrong one now, too.
Yeah,
there we go.
Great. There we go.
All right, let's get spicy shit on the screen here. Okay, what do we like?
So let's go to NFL spicy. I usually just do this by game, like depending on the games that are like coming into the week.
Not a. What's Curtis Samuel? I don't mind grabbing a Curtis Samuel one.
34.5 receiving feels like a really nice.
I like the receptions better, actually.
Yeah, I take the receptions on higher. That's a 1.1x too. It's just nice.
Do we want to do Collins? When did we put that in?
Spicy did.
Do we want to do that?
I would. What's his touchdown odds? I think he scores in this game.
I mean, Diggs is a lock for a touchdown in this game. If we're being
yeah, they run a lot of too high shell, so Diggs might feast underneath.
Higher, yeah, it's plus cash basically here to get a touchdown.
Odds.
Let's do that. Yeah. Let's go down to the Colts and Jags game. Maybe I like that game quite a bit.
I wonder what Trey Sermon's line is.
Colts and Jags. Do we want to grab Downs? Maybe.
Yes.
4.5 receptions.
Yards. I think yards is going to be the play. Flacco's going to fucking sling it.
Okay. And then let's do one more maybe. What about
Sermon?
What about the Commanders Browns game? We could do like an Amari Cooper one maybe.
We already both have Amari Cooper.
Okay, we won't do an Amari Cooper one then. Oh, dude, what the hell? Is Brian Robinson plus money to score?
Yeah, smash that.
Yeah, go to the Commanders Browns again.
Brian Thomas too. Oh, yeah, fair. Brian Robinson, not Brian Thomas, but I love it.
We got 3 minutes still.
Hey, watch. Brian Thomas is going to score now. That's why he did that.
Yeah, Brian Robinson. That's killer.
That's plus odds?
Yeah, it is. That's what I said. Do we have a profit boost token, by the way, Spicy?
He said we
did. You use it already?
20%.
Yeah, hit it.
There's also vulture protection?
Yeah, that'll be vulture protection on B-Rob, which he needs because he has Jaden Daniels as his quarterback. So
not too shabby. So again, 4 correct pays 158.80, or why did I say it like that? $158.80.
Yeah. If you guys want to tail that, you got a couple minutes. But also, too, if you are new to Underdog, you guys know the drill. Use promo code FSE when you sign up. When you sign up, you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash on your first deposit of a minimum of $10. You'll also have a free square pick'em in your lobby for Dak Prescott, higher than half a total yard on Sunday Night Football tonight. And that looks like this that you guys can see. And then, we also have our other ones. You guys saw this was my wide receiver one with Wandale, with Cooper, with Wicks, with Pickens. And then this was Danny's week 5 with Cooper, with Odunze, with Downs, and with Wicks. So if that interests you guys, definitely check that out. And of course, when you sign up on Underdog, you also get our weekly start set rankings for free. So if you did not get your question answered today, unfortunately, we got it through a lot more free questions than we usually do. If you did not get your questions answered today, again, you can submit them either to the site or you could just use our weekly start set rankings manifesto, which is updated like all the time. And you don't actually have to ask us a question in the stream. You can just kind of see who we have ranked higher. That should do it for the stream here. 12:59 p.m. If you guys got a question answered, leave us a like down below. If you didn't and you just enjoyed listening to us jabber away, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Tomorrow we'll have our recap stream. Tuesday we'll have waivers. Wednesday we'll have trade targets. Thursday we'll have the new matchups that matter format, which you guys gave me a lot of great feedback on. Friday we'll do the same thing we did this Friday, where Danny, or I'll actually be doing it, but we'll break down.
I'll do waivers this week.
Yeah, Danny will be doing waivers this week. I'll be doing the sneaky
You didn't. Sorry, I saw that in all caps. You didn't. Leggett. Sorry, I saw that in all caps, so I just fucking.
Yeah, I guess all caps is the way to skip the line. Also,
don't be doing that moving forward, by the way. But I just
Danny got excited for the all caps question
because I was setting my lineup, and I looked left and I noticed it. So
I did not set my lineup, so I'm probably fucked. But hopefully, I set it at 9:30 this morning, so I can't imagine anything's wrong.
For sure. Again, I overset my lineup because I get terrified. I don't know what it is. Again, we stream right before the game. I get terrified that my lineup wasn't properly set, even though I've probably set it 8 separate times in the last 2 days. I think it's just like OCD, to be honest. Like I have to make sure I'm organized. Otherwise, if I'm not, and great. This is why. I mean, to be fair, I didn't have another quarterback option, but fucking Christ, I had Richardson starting in a lineup in a dynasty league.
Tough scene. Anyways, appreciate you guys for sticking around. Good luck this week. Hopefully you guys take down the dub. Shout out to Garrett Wilson and Drake London, making me look smarter than I had previously looked up until this point in the season. Take it easy, fellas.